Right, well, Francis Boyle is a professor of international law at the University of Illinois and a former legal advisor to the Palestinian delegation to the Middle East peace negotiations, and he joins us live from Chicago. Thank you very much, Francis. You have so much experience on this. I'm keen to hear how significant this is with this latest decision, if at all.
Well, assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for having me on. I would say better late than never. I had originally advised Palestinian President Mohammud Abbas to accept the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court in 2009. So finally, 15 years later, they do something. It is a very important precedent that the Prime Minister of Israel and the recently stepped down Defense Minister are now wanted for war crimes and crimes against humanity being just short of genocide in terms of its seriousness. There are 124 state party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. They are all obligated to arrest Netanyahu and Gallant in the event they show up in those states. This also can be used, these warrants, to pursue Netanyahu, Gallant, and other members of this criminal regime in Israel pursuant to the doctrine of universal jurisdiction. So that's the agenda for the future.
Mr. Francis Boyle, you were referring to 2009. That was during Operation Cast Lead, where 1,400 Palestinians were killed, including 300 children, many of them civilians, in densely populated areas. Weapons were used against them, unarmed civilians, may I add. Is this a case of a little too late? Because this war has been happening for more than a year now.
Yeah, so in my opinion, if the ICC had prosecuted the Israeli leaders after Operation Cast Lead, pursuant to the acceptance of the jurisdiction by President Abbas, maybe all this could have been avoided if prosecutions had been initiated 15 years ago. But again, looking at it as a lawyer, as a practicing lawyer, we lawyers will be able to use this to go after these people, yes, in both international fora and domestic fora all over the world.
Francis A. Boyle is a leading American expert in international law. He was responsible for drafting the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act of 1989, the American implementing legislation for the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention. He served on the board of directors of Amnesty International, 1988 to 1992, and represented Bosnia-Herzegovina at the World Court. He served as legal advisor to the Palestinian delegation to the Middle East peace negotiations from 1991 to 1993. In 2007, he delivered the Bertrand Russell Peace Lectures. Professor Boyle teaches international law at the University of Illinois Champaign and is author of Inter alia, The Future of International Law and American Foreign Policy, Foundations of World Order, The Criminality of Nuclear Deterrence, Palestine, Palestinians and International Law, Destroying World Order, Biowarfare and Terrorism, Tackling America's Toughest Questions, The Tamil Genocide by Sri Lanka, and the Palestinian Right of Return under International Law. He holds a Doctor of Law magna cum laude, as well as a PhD in political science, both from Harvard University. This book provides a comprehensive survey of the international legal principles related to the Palestinian struggle for self-determination. Starting with the League of Nations awarding the mandate for Palestine to Britain after the First World War, through the partition of the Palestine Mandate by the United Nations after the Second World War, to the Palestinian declaration of an independent state of their own in 1988, to the diplomatic recognition of the Palestinian state by about 130 other states, through the United Nations granting the state of Palestine all the rights of a UN member state, but the right to vote, etc. The just resolution of the Palestinian right of return is at the very heart of the Middle East peace process. Nonetheless, U.S. administrations continue to try to impose a comprehensive peace settlement upon the Palestinians that will force them to give up their well-recognized right of return under United Nations General Assembly Resolution 1943 of 1948. Accept a Bantustan of disjointed and surrounded chunks of territory on the West Bank and Gaza, and even expressly recognize Israel as the Jewish state, as newly demanded by Benjamin Netanyahu. All this will fail for the reasons so powerfully and eloquently stated in this book.